Very good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're joining from. And, welcome to this last session. And, just to remind translators to unmute. And we'll be sharing details of the follow-up or the next advanced retreat at the end. And this subject yesterday, that unless we have a balance, then we are as if handicapped. If we haven't got the backdrop that things are not serious, the immortality of the soul is not fully alive, then we are not able to fully play the part either and actually contribute the best in the spirit of play. We saw that the brain is in balance. We know it's a game, we feel secure, but then when we play the game, we play to win and we do our best. So invitation for any comments or questions, and anything we don't get through today, we will answer. There will be a recording and put in the G Drive for any other questions. So welcome everyone, and handing over to Prashant.
Good morning, and very nice to meet again. Just seeing that excellent. So we'll start with a few moments of attention again. We are seeing who is it that is aiming to get victory. We also underline this. The game starts with the best sight, best light. So when we use the word paras, it encompasses the best intellect, best sight, best light. We are just check that that is in place. Because in that environment, the sky lights up. The family of souls, this becomes normal but important, is the true family. The home of the souls, this becomes the true home. Not just a nice concept and the understanding of the true self. But this environment helps the true self becomes conscious. What else do we need? True self becomes conscious. For him, it is normal to be immortal. It is normal to be like a presence, incorporeal, that is normal. Normal to belong to that sky. And for the true self, for the soul that is conscious, it is so obvious that down below is a story. It is not a word anymore, story. By that he means it is fiction. There are so many stories in this world. And this is just another story. Great entertainment, but he is independent from the story. Nothing of the story can ever harm him. Who says this? The true self says this. For that, the true self has to be conscious first. If he is not conscious, ego is conscious. And for the ego, every little thing in the story matters because ego is based on the story. All the 10 heads of Ravan are based on the different things of the story. So we are seeing in 1 second, game changes. The true self wakes up. It is not just knowing that soul exists, not a concept, not just concentrating on the soul, but the soul need to wake up. We see this very distinct milestone because many other things can be done by ego. Ego can talk about soul, but here we are seeing the soul wakes up. And for him, that incorporeal presence, that is normal, completely separate from everything from the story. And so, right now, here, this gathering is happening in the story. Prashant is talking, that is happening in the story. And the soul that is conscious sees is completely separate. He is not extension of Prashant. So he doesn't take entitlement for things of Prashant. Prashant may disappear, or is going to disappear. But the soul knows of his immortality. Soul knows he is beyond harm. This complete separation makes it soul conscious soul. Just the language of soul, soul conscious, but mixed, then it is not a victory. It is victory if there is separation. Maybe for 1 minute, for half a minute, but let we aim to get this quality. And if the quality is in place, then quantity will look after itself. There is no big success. Just having quantity means many minutes of meditation, but quality is compromised. That is what we call bhakti. So many things are done in a religious context, but the accuracy is not checked. What we are doing, why we are doing, it is not checked. Excellent. I'm going to read a short passage from the Murli. This is from, if you want to hear the date, 31st of December 95. So it is the New Year's Eve, that's the message. So this year, no matter what happens, you must not allow there to be a flaw in the diamond, in the soul. Let there not be a flaw. This is message. If an obstacle comes to you in the form of someone's nature or situation, then see that there is no flaw within you. Situation, obstacles will come. Should obstacles not come? since you have the title of being the destroyer of obstacles, only when the obstacles come will you be able to destroy them. If a victorious person says that the enemy should not come and that he is victorious, then who would call him victorious? He does not receive the title of being victorious. Although the obstacles will come, whether from matter, from other individuals, from many other situations, you become so powerful that you cannot be defeated by the obstacles. Is this possible? Then you are victorious. So, our aim is victory. That is, of course, it is the aim, and it is the aim of everyone. But most people everyone is in a battle of some kind. And some may have victory also of some kind. But everything is at a different level within the camel and elephant drama. There are victories, at a small level between individuals, or between nations. Everyone is trying to score some points in some way. So what is happening here? You are just stepping out of that. You are seeing a paras way. At a patthar level, there are other things going on. Lots of other celebrations also. They are celebrating victories. But you are seeing in a paras way. And you are seeing the real issue that exists on the whole planet. Whole human race and souls are defeated by something else at the moment. And what are they defeated by? Ignorance. When we use the word Ravan, it just embodies ignorance. And you are breaking the spell of this ignorance, starting with yourself. But you are taking a challenge to remove this ignorance of the human race. This is the battle. So in this, no journey will be just you take a decision and it will happen. It will not be like this. We know this. If you are playing a game, if you are playing cricket, the bowler will come with all kinds of tricks. He will come with bouncers also. So you need to be prepared for this. Then you will be victorious. So Baba's task is to be a coach. He cannot play the game for anyone else, but he can be the coach. And he is the master of this game. That is the difference. That's why he can absolutely say, if anyone wants victory here, then come. Guaranteed victory. He is the master. To start with, he knows the enemy. No one has clarified the enemy with such detail as we see here. Like even great people like Gandhi, it mentions about the demons within, but not that grasp. What is the extent of this demon? this 10-headed monster. So we are seeing in this, under the spell of ignorance, there is this ego takes birth. There is no entity called ego, and there is no entity called Ravan, but the manifestation is very, very conscious. It is like it hijacks the human consciousness, and it is as if there is a real being, devious being planning a strategy to trick people. Just like, the good example of this, these days there is this virus, coronavirus ruling this planet. Any virus, it hasn't got a nucleus. Bacteria, everything else, fungus, they got nucleus. Virus has no nucleus. But it can use the nucleus of human cells or animal cells. It uses the cell mechanism for its own purpose. It just hijacks the cell itself, and so it doesn't need its own nucleus. That's exactly what Ravan does. Ravan is not conscious, but it uses the human soul. Soul itself is hijacked. So you all say someone is very intelligent, that intelligence is used for Ravan. Someone has got determination. Determination is used by Ravan. He becomes more stubborn. Every virtue it is you have, once Ravan takes over, it is used by Ravan. And so there is it appears very conscious activity going on from Ravan. So let me draw some of our sketches. Anyone want to say anything at this point? And or add anything?
There's no comments at the moment. It is fascinating. Baba is the coach and master of the game, and it takes away all the flavor of the false spirituality and bhakti of worship. And interesting, you are clarifying Ravan isn't an entity, but is like the virus. It's a useful analogy.
Yes.
One question. No, there are some questions that have come. Are we? How does Ravan hijack and use the virtues of the hijacked soul, for example?
Yeah. So we will see in a little bit more detail. We'll come to this. And any other comment, question?
Are we living in a modern fairy tale? That's a question. Not quite sure in what sense that's meant.
It is a drama. We are in this drama. You can call it a tale. Yeah.
Yeah, no, just some agreement in the model. It's clear. Thank you.
Just to give the example, we give the example how Ravan uses the virtue. Someone has determination, we said. It is used by Ravan for its own task. It becomes stubborn. Every head of Ravan becomes stubborn. Those who have more determination, they are the ones who will become more stubborn in a Ravan's way. It is a bit like that. Those who are more clever, they will be more clever to justify Ravan and come out with clever answers for Ravan. So Ravan is full. Ravan's department. It is not a. We are talking here ignorance. Here is a gathering. We can clearly see how absurd it is. The whole life of Ravan. For example, we know here in this world, our time is temporary. We know this. Say someone gives your most precious, what should I say? Most precious iPhone. Should I call it iPhone? Because diamond may not be as precious anymore. Someone gives you a diamond or something very precious for 10 seconds. Will you create attachments? You will not, because you are there just for 10 seconds and you have to give it away after 10 seconds. Instead of 10 seconds, it is for 15 seconds. Will you create attachments? You will not. We are in this world temporarily. That is guaranteed. Exit is guaranteed. It may be 10 seconds more. It may be 100 years more, but it is guaranteed exit. But see the scale of attachments we create in this temporary world. Blatant. No one is questioning this. There are sort of systems and law institutions to sort of support it. And then they don't want to die. They say, oh, I'm going to lose it all. So keep me alive longer. So institutions are working for this. It's like a whole institutions are based upon that ignorance. And at one level, multiple levels. Ravan's existence is on blatant ignorance. But it is unquestioned. Now, this is what has been happening, and how come we all allow this to happen? Because of the cleverness of Ravan and Maya. No one takes it any further. I'm talking here the world, institutions of the world. No one is taking it further. They all adapt to that Ravan's world and just continue to work to create more attachments and more ego and more vices. Direction is that way, all along. So very, very few are questioning this. I'm talking very few. We are talking maybe 0.1%, this kind of a number questioning this. And even smaller number is doing anything about this. So here we are saying, how do we deal with anything of this kind? In that world of attachments and in that box, once Ravan takes birth, we saw other day the different heads of Ravan, their ego, essentially we are talking about ego. Then ego wants to survive. That becomes a big milestone in opposite direction. Once ego takes birth, then you can't easily come out of it. We said in an insect, ant, no one wants to die. So ego doesn't want to die. Ego will give a fight, absolute fight. And ego wants to get bigger. So even though here we have got the knowledge, but still ego within each one of us, within me and you, it wants to get bigger. And he would rather listen to a little bit more praise than criticism. You would rather spend time to work for ego, getting a little bigger hat or something, than lose out on the ego. So this is a reality of the situation. Things change only when you create a porous environment. Because it is a spell of ignorance. Pathar cannot see very far. And that's why game, they don't even see it. There is any need to change anything. So you are changing this game by changing the environment. See the bigger map. And this has to be done often. Not a few times, but it is like Baba likes this, those who listen to the Murli of today. don't waste 1 second. This kind of language. And it use every second, right? Baba sees it that way. If Ravan is the cause of all this problem, why do you want to sort of compromise with him, even for a second? This is the position from Ram, from Baba. Don't compromise. Don't waste 1 second. Go for full victory. And we need that kind of energy. So here is the word. You've got a great option of using the best intellect. You've got the option of being conscious. Why should we not be conscious if we know what truth is? We have the option to make others conscious, see others as souls. We have the option to remember to be in the company of our supreme friend. Big options. He offers the company. He is the wisest and the highest, and he offers the company. I have option to be in the company in my mind. This is all that matters. Drama, I mean, there is camel and elephant, but in the mind, you are taking the company of the supreme friend. Then you are a winner. If this is what you are having attention, game is changing. And then you are seeing you got a journey, but this is also great fun. You are seeing the physical world is a great gift, but as a story. You know, we are not running away from this world, but when we are out of ignorance, we are seeing it the right way. You are seeing the story as story, like the Prashant. Here is a body. Okay, these are things of the story, sure. I don't want to run away from it. I'm using some things here. No, it is temporary. It is going to change. We are dealing with it. See it the right way. Then you find you win the sky, you also win the earth. Both are nice. We don't criticize the earth, but what we don't want to promote is ignorance. We don't want to see this story as our home. For ego, that is his home. That's why he's at conflict, ego. Ego complains about change. Ego has got so much to worry about. Not just the death, but he has got many other things to worry about. Whereas for the awake soul, there is nothing to worry about. Zero complaints and zero concerns for the soul that is conscious. Celebration. Life, existence is celebration. Why? Because truth is beautiful. Truth for everyone is immensely beautiful. Yes, so you want to add anything?
Yes, a question. What is meant by the sight of the intellect?
Sight. Sure. These are some terms used in the spiritual language. Spiritual sight, divine sight, third eye. These words are used in the Murlis also. And also the words are used, intellect, uh, subtle intellect, broad intellect, divine intellect, unlimited intellect, and far-reaching intellect. We need all of these things. And when we use the word paras, we include all these things. So paras is our ability to see the subtle, to see the world beyond that story, to see the whole story as small, so it becomes unlimited. You know, we all have this already. We are using it. It's the intellect that can see the broader picture of every aspect. It is almost seeing. Sight is the thing that sees, intellect that interprets. So Paras we are using as both. It has got sight and it is used to include. It is not that sometimes we can use sight, sometimes we use intellect. We need to use the whole thing together. Whatever we see, we have to interpret in the right way.
Thank you. I hope that helps. Another question. Other than seeing others as souls and being conscious, what other ways can we awaken others, like even if it's a moment? Is there something we should say or something we should do in their presence?
Seeing, yes, of course. And the most important is ourselves being conscious. That is the most important. There is no compromise on that, and it not to take it too lightly because it's a game minute to minute. 1 minute you may be conscious, next minute ego takes over. But if that is in place and the conscious side is there, then your attitude, your vision, everything has magic in it and starts the process. And that is enough. You know, it is each soul has created their own bondages over many births, and process will start. And cooperation is given where process has started. Cooperation, we all help each other. You know, I am helping you, you are helping me. That it is we family. Family cooperates with each other, and that is in the attitude. And that this does 99% of the job. If anything else is possible, why not? Like words, and you may create art, and you may do, as we were saying, songs. They are sometimes very powerful, and they bypass the head, they reach the heart, help people get an experience. So we use anything that is literature. Be creative. We all got skills, as we were saying before. There are skills and there are specialities, virtues. Maya will use it. Ravan will use it. We use it for Ram. That is the way to stop Ravan using it. They will get divinized.
Thank you. Yes. One request, can we have your yoga experiment from Paris?
Sure. What we've been doing, that is an experiment anyway. That is what, and to create our own program. But let us create a few more minutes right now. And in this, it's a game of a second. In a second, we check and see that Paras is in place. And if Paras is in place, the whole physical world will appear small. That's why the word story is used. And by that we mean no different to story of camel and elephant. The whole thing is as small as any other story. We see it as it is small in size, small in significance, and short in time. Beginning and end, we see it. Paras sees it that way. Its importance becomes small. So that's why there is nothing to think about in the story. Mind is free to be beyond the story. And beyond that story world is the reality, world of the true family, true father, true home, world of the true self. We realize the extraordinary truth that exists. This is a truth for everyone. They all are beings of light and they are from the family of God. They are immortal. All we have done is use paras and discover this reality. We don't see it as meditation. The soul wakes up to what is normal and what is real. The true self sees himself in the image of a presence, invisible presence. So independent from the story, so independent from the role. In this case, Prashant is part of the story. The soul sees himself independent. He is the invisible actor in that drama, but he is also the invisible observer of the drama. But he is not part of the story. The actor is never part of the story. The actor has his own world. He has his father and his home. He knows he's very lucky. He also knows everyone is lucky. To have such a truth, it is extraordinary. Life with God, life of immortality, the great family, noble family, and supreme home, secure home. But even more fascinating is the innate personality of the soul is of happiness and love and contentment. That's why very lucky. Each soul is lucky. If you just remove the eclipse, he becomes free from ignorance, free from Ravan. The natural state is of happiness, love, and contentment. They come with friends, whether it is peace, lightness, or all these things, wisdom. And each soul is immensely lucky. Truth is beautiful for everyone. On top of this, they have this great gift of the drama. Drama is also good. as long as the souls remain sensible. That's why they win the sky, they also win the earth. As we continue on our journey, we remember this option to be in truth. Paras just helps us to be in truth. Thank you. Just want to add just few things connected with what we spoke so far. In this game, we said just as the virus hijacks the nucleus of a cell, Ravan hijacks. But then what happens? In this game, we saw that there is Sita and Ram in this world. And we saw there is Ravan, Ravan's 10 heads. I might encourage you to revise that story. It is always good to understand, come back to that story. So there is Ravan and Maya. That cleverness is going on, Maya's cleverness and Ravan's eternal demands. Each head has its demands with different things. And in a Patthar environment, stone intellect environment, that becomes major. It is not a fun for in the stone intellect environment. Just like I can see a crocodile in a zoo, and it is fun for me to it's nice crocodile. I can take a photograph of the crocodile. I can feed the crocodile also some things if I'm allowed to. But if I come across a crocodile in a lake, it is not a fun. It is like a different relationship altogether. When we have crossed a line and we are with a patthar, stone intellect, Ravan rules. Ravan decides. Ravan creates feelings, emotions. These heads of Ravan are demanding. They are like a demon, but with its different manifestations. And the world is right present as if under the rule of Ravan. If there are 8 billion human beings, they are ruled by these 10 heads of Ravan. Their mind is used, their life is ruled by Ravan's 10 heads. And it is all kept going. We saw how blatantly ignorant it is, but it is kept going because of the stone intellect, because of the patthar environment. So that is what is going on. We are taking on this challenge to break that spell. And that is why you get a reward also. Golden Age is a reward for this because you break this spell. It is a huge service to mankind. So to break this spell, we need to have certain qualities. Those who have certain qualities, they win. And our strategy has to be there in place, and strategy we are saying we are not going to feed Ravan. That is one strategy. Non-cooperation. And Gandhi, at a very political level, his policy was absolute non-violence, and his non-violence included he will not criticize anybody. No personal criticism of anybody. They may be creating major defamation, but he will not go to that level. But that was still a weapon again in the political world, and that weapon was non-cooperation. It's a non-violent approach, but non-cooperation. Anything that is wrong, his approach was, I will not cooperate, and he encouraged others also not to cooperate. That's why governments have to say, okay, if no one cooperates, they have to change their policies. They have to resign, in that kind of situation. But in different areas, his attitude was of non-cooperation. Now here, imagine there is a terrorist in your city. Will you cooperate with him, even a little, even the slightest? If he asks for some few bullets, will you give him some bullets? If you know he is a terrorist, Ravan is the biggest terrorist, of the world, and so why should we cooperate with him? This is the first position for us, to be sensible and not to cooperate with gross things, but not to cooperate with thoughts. And how to stop this? Use your qualities for Ram. Use your time for Ram. Use Ram mind for Ram. That is the way. Idle mind is a devil's workshop. Keep the mind busy with Ram. Then Ravan cannot use it. So this is your main strategy. Keep yourself busy with Ram. Find way. We said earlier, your aim to awaken others. We should be involved in that. The most important reason that will keep yourself safe. That will help others win, but you also win as a result. Because otherwise mind will be used by Ravan. There is no third party here. Either you work for Ram or you work for Ravan. There is no United Nations peace zone in between. So United Nations doesn't get involved here with Ravan. Are you okay with that? So you are fully involving yourself with Ram. Now, second thing, we need few qualities for this victory. Those who have these qualities, they win. And these qualities, first is determination. Any war, it can be small war, or if someone is absolutely determined, the other side will give up, will not even go, will not go for a war. Other side accepts defeat. No one wants to just get involved into long-term mess. So if someone is determined, they say, okay, let us find some other way of doing things. If they have a chance of victory, then they will go for a war. This is a law in any war. If there is a chance of victory, they will go. If there is no chance of victory, why will they just go and start a war? So here, if you are determined in this, determined, how does it present? Say someone wants to give up smoking. If he's determined, I may die, I'm not going to smoke. That he has taken that decision. he will not get a desire even. If he says, I want to give up smoking, but there is some possibility I might change my mind, so I better keep some cigarettes in my house, just in case, middle of the night, I don't want to go to the tobacco shop, so he keeps some cigarettes and lighter and everything is there, and he's taking a decision to give up smoking. Will he succeed? you know, because he has told Maya his determination is not there. There is chance of victory. And so Maya will send the army, navy, and the air force. You know, Maya will send full, full-fledged war. But if you say, I may die, but I will not smoke, there will be not a single thought of smoking because you finished at a very early stage. That's why in this context, in our tradition, there is a great value given to making promises. Promise have value, you know, making commitments. That all of that has value in this. Rakhi, tying a Rakhi, that is one celebration we celebrate. You know, mm, get into this. It is required. Very clear. You move move on. You finish something from this moment. You finish. Then there is a success. This each area individual. We said Ravan has 10 heads, but some heads of Ravan are bigger, and they have to be removed first. You don't just say, okay, there's big head. I remove. One person said she wants to remove 7 heads of Ravan, but keep 3 heads of Ravan. Now Baba will say, remove those 3 heads of Ravan first, because those 3 heads of Ravan are your real Ravan. If you do not remove those heads, they will bring another 10 even, not just 3. That is the main Ravan. If you remove the big heads of Ravan, the rest of the journey will become easy. And you got a program, very clear program, guaranteed. Victory is guaranteed here because now you understood. We said Ravan, its existence is in darkness. If you bring light, darkness is defeated. Straight fight between light and darkness, light wins, hands down. There is no doubt in it. So you got a very clear method for victory. Just you have to apply it. So, yeah, big heads of Ram, remove them with determination. Use this commitment and you know make promise. Write to Baba, make promise and finish the heads. Another great quality you need for victory: army that has discipline, that army wins. Here also, we need to introduce the discipline in our lifestyle. That's why we got a system of a meditation at a certain time, and every day we got Murli to read, and to accept it with discipline, not too casual in this context. Flexibility is nice virtue, but to win a war, you need discipline. Otherwise, this example, Maya will say, you have to be flexible. Yesterday, someone was asking a question: how can Maya use knowledge? Maya will say, you have to be flexible. Why are you so strict with discipline? Why is discipline necessary? As an example, say it is possible You may suddenly get some company, some situation, and some waste thoughts and Maya's thoughts are coming in. And when there are thoughts of Maya is creating some storm, some can be desires also, can be doubt also, anything is possible. During the confluence age, Maya is there and Maya can create this. And then next thing Maya will say, don't read anything. Don't read knowledge. Take a rest. Have coffee. Go for a walk. Watch a film. Watch television. Maya will tell you this. If there is no discipline, you will be going from one Maya's camp to another Maya's camp. Because that is the way it will happen. Those who have a discipline, they say, okay, Maya was there yesterday evening, but now it is morning, and morning there is no compromise. He has to create time for his meditation. He has to create time for Murli. He gets company of Brahmins. He gets knowledge. He has got reminders of some basic things. He finds himself out of Maya. If that discipline was not there, then there is nothing to protect him from Maya's wave, Maya's storm. Am I clear? So there are people who got that kind of, through the Brahmin life, not Mr. Murli one day. Many things happen, waste thoughts come, Maya comes, but I don't miss a Murli, not a single day. This kind of position. But same thing applies to various other. In Baba's words, Hindi, in a nice expression, Jasti kaida utna faida. So if you put these disciplines for Ravan, all these disciplines are for Ravan. More you put disciplines, better, more the benefit, and the better it is for you. You have to restrain Ravan with all the disciplines. Like about this, disciplines of diet are their disciplines. They are all to restrain Ravan. The Ravan's head have to be made smaller, and that gives you room to work on the angel. So we saw you need determination, army that has discipline, that army wins. We saw before, the uh, whole process is a process of discrimination. Even right now, you are using discrimination to understand knowledge, even. But in your everyday life, you need to see some thoughts are coming. Is this coming from Maya? And it appears all nice, but is it coming from Maya? You need to use discrimination to stop Maya. You need to use discrimination to use which knowledge to use which time. The discrimination is necessary. Different hates of Ravan are there. Maya's different cleverness is there. Like for example, one time Maya will say, do it later. Another time Maya will say, it is gradual, do it gradually. It is a long process. Understand, this is Maya speaking. I can do the whole thing in 1 second. What does Baba say? Baba says it is a game of a second. So why should I say do it gradually? Why should I say it is a long process? I can move into what is best. Why should I go to what is second best? Why should I mix things? Use discrimination. And more you use it, it will get refined. Refinement will happen. Just like we all got qualities, more you use them, that will grow. We have concentration. More you use concentration, it will grow. We have paras. More we use it, it will grow. It is such a wonderful thing. We have soul consciousness, but you create time, it will grow, and that will remove your body consciousness. Another quality we need, our game is based on decision. Decisions are required at many. Our life is a decision making, and to remove Maya, to become Brahmin, to take this journey towards victory, it is all based on decision. And at various points there are crossroads. You have to take decision, and you may know what is right and wrong. Discrimination helps you to know what is right and wrong. Still, you need this power to say, yes, I'm going to do what is right. It is extra funny. Even though one knows one is right and wrong, still one could choose what is wrong. Isn't it extraordinary? So just to take a decision what is right. All along you are aware. When you see the bigger map, it helps you, because it is like Ravan offers you happiness also. Ravan offers you success also, but it is a bait. Just like fish is given a bait. Fish experiences happiness for 5 seconds, but then finds itself in the frying pan. Understand? No? So that is the bait. So Ravan offers the bait. And one needs to be intelligent to see that, am I going for this bait? Or am I want to be deceived? What do I want long term? And so that helps you to take decision. Another quality, we need to be very clear about a destination, or you need to sit and work out, create time for this. I might encourage you to create some time with these few things we are writing here. Create time. Have you got very clearly your destination? What is your aim in life? Is it within that box to get some big, become the president of the country? Is that your aim? And ask the presidents who, if that is worth becoming the president, of the country. Is that if he has achieved supersensuous bliss after becoming the president? What is your destination in life? Be very clear. If that destination is with Paris, if you are seeing the full map and then you are coming to your destination, that helps your decisions. That helps everything else. Any other you want to add? What else we need? You can see these are like powers: power, determination, discipline, discrimination, decision making. And we saw destination very clear. Or anything else?
Patience, courage.
With what letter it will start, you think?
Okay. Discerning, I think it is.
This discrimination and discerning is
Discovery. Discovery.
Discovery.
Daring. The right kind of desire.
Yeah, daring is a good one.
There's a question, is decision making not the same as determination?
Determination, sometimes it is, I may not need even determination. I just need to take a decision. Am I turning left or right? That is all. And on the left there is some, cake. On the right there I don't see any cake, but I know that my destination is on that side. So what do I choose? It is a bit like that. So decision is one, independent. Better to see it independently. So here, the dedication, one who is dedicated to things, you get involved more, that will take you to your destination more easily. One who works with all this, and victory is very guaranteed. Victory is there. As we said, once you have a light, then victory is guaranteed. But we have to deal with Maya's cleverness. Maya will come in many different forms, and these powers have to be in place beforehand. Last minute, you don't go look for weapons, then you will not get victory. For example, discipline. You got it already in place, then it helps you in the time of difficult time. If determination, you've already got it in place, you got some commitments, then when there is some company comes, some influence comes, you are not breaking, because you got a commitment. So these are like the very, very useful structures for big victory. I will stop here. And Nino, if you want to, any questions, happy with those. But if there is any rooms.
Yes, there are some questions. I don't know whether this would be a good time to take a break and have the questions afterwards. Do you think?
You can take one question now.
Yes, okay. Just to clarify, when Ravan does suddenly come, the attention on the soul is that non-cooperation with Ravan? Is the question clear?
Yes. Yes, very good. The Ravan comes to understand that your power to finish it in 1 second. Anything comes, not to make a big deal of it, to understand you are powerful. And this is like Baba often says, main heads are gone, progeny, little small bits of Ravan coming. If you see it as big to start with, oh, Ravan, it is going to be a war. It will be a war. Know that these are like the weak parts. Okay, you recognized, that's enough. Once you recognize it is Ravan, that's the big success. Then finish. Be busy. Mind is the area where you gain victory. Keep the mind busy with Ram. And that is finished. Don't think even after that.
Nice. You want another question?
Okay.
Nanda's asking, what about commitment and responsibility?
in the drama, in the world.
Or I don't know if she means that in the context of a power or in the world, but maybe Nana can clarify in the chat, but however you want to answer.
Yes, of course, we have commitments and responsibilities. But now, when we see the bigger map and bigger life and new role, just like say, I have a job on a boat and I have a job to prepare cakes for people. It is a commitment. But if the boat is sinking, then I have to reassess. I have signed a contract to prepare cakes, but boat is sinking. Then I have to think this is the time to take people out of the boat. That becomes my real commitment now or duty. Then sticking to my commitment to prepare cakes. Now we are in a situation like this. And so we have to reassess the whole position, life, my reason for existence. And you are seeing your time and your thoughts in a very differently, understand an immense value to your time. Yeah, that's excellent. So we'll take breaks and Sarah likes to ask the question, what is the subject for this? These 6 powers we spoke about, to reflect on this, to see in what way we can bring them in our lives, you know, and and the reason to underline this has to be put in place before the situations come. When the going is good, we have to put these structures in place. Make them, more we use them, they become stronger.
And what are the 2 that are not on this board in case anyone hasn't managed to catch them? Okay, we'll type them in the chat as well. So we'll have a 10 or 15-minute break. If you want to take a break or if you'd like to join the room discussions, just click join and enjoy a chance to meet. If you have the camera on, that's great. And we'll see you back shortly. Thank you. Thank you, and welcome back. And we're going to hear from a couple of you. And first, I'd like to see if Gita is available. You've been relieved of translation duties for a few minutes. It would be really nice to hear your thoughts. So Gita is joining us from Helsinki. It's good. Hello.
Hello, and hello for everyone. And it's just a wonderful day today to really get the game with Ravan and Maya very clear. And we also had in the room very nice discussion about these different powers, discipline, determination, discrimination. And it was a good discussion about what everyone felt like they should better up. Is it a discipline or is it discrimination? So it was a good discussion. And personally, I thought that this is exactly what we need every now and then to really clear the game and see it very clearly. Where is the aim and what can I do to better up my score? So this was a very helpful thoughts what we heard from Prashant, and it really felt like we have a invisible coach who is filling us with a lot of power and injecting us with ready to stand up again and not to be somewhere in the corner having any illusion that I will win anyway. So it came very clear that this is a boxing match and we need really good powers to win here. So it was very enjoyable lecture. So thank you for that. Om Shanti.
Yes, and I felt the same. And actually, I feel what I want to do this afternoon is just listen to the whole thing again, because there's so much in this subject and the invisible coach. Yes, we need to know about Ram, but Ram's role is to explain about Ravan and how to win. So it's so empowering, and be nice as well if Belinda from South Africa is available, if you'd like to share any reflections.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Yes, we also had a very rich discussion, and we saw the connectedness between these different powers, how they actually support each other. And one of them in particular was the destination, that if the destination is clear, then even when you go off track, which is inevitable because we're in this battle with Maya. But even if you are off track, that you're able to catch it quickly and not make it a big thing, because Maya will also like to make it a big thing. That you failed in something, you went in the wrong direction. But no, just see it, make it small, and take that decision just to come out. And so we felt that was the destination is an important thing, and keep it clear that actually it's guaranteed that we reach the destination, because that also gives a lot of courage for this journey. The other thing that I was thinking about from today is the aspect of the Paris environment. It's really something nice to think about. What is that Paris environment? I once heard an expression that environment is stronger than will. And we know that environment in a worldly sense has a great impact. And so when we take the time to use Paris, which is what makes Paris stronger, and we create that alokik environment in which there's clarity, and when there's clarity, then we can use these powers even more successfully. It's when there's confusion that the powers may be there, but in confusion, you're scrambling around and not using the powers as they could be used. So just this feeling of taking time to create the Paris environment, which gives the big map, which brings the clarity, and then gathering around those powers and using them accurately. Thank you.
Thank you. It's really interesting what you mentioned. The environment is stronger than will, and with the best will in the world, as is said, but shifting the environment is something we have the option for, not changing the outer, of course, but this atmosphere of Paris. Yes, and understanding the right way to use each power. At least we have the reference point if the destination is clear. So welcome back to everyone, and if any comments, questions, reflections from the discussion group, feel free to share. And for the last 15 minutes, maybe some questions from before for Prashant, or anything that you wanted to add.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you to Gita and Belinda. I appreciate this emphasis on subject of destination. A nice image of this is, say you are playing football, and I might encourage you to see, you know, some good players, scoring, and
Pele?
yes,
Pele? Messi?
Pele is one example. You can see Pele playing football, and scoring goals. and what you see, there are players blocking him, and they are dedicated players to block his performance. And he throws the ball in the air, goes behind other players, catches the ball, and runs towards the destination. Once you have a very clear destination, then you take decisions. And in a split second, you have to decide what you are going to do with this, and you use your powers and you solve problems, difficulties that are coming. You are doing it all. At the same time, you are doing it with fun and lightness. During this period, there is no time to say why someone is blocking me, or someone is holding you, someone is pushing you. There is no time for that. All that is happening. But if you have no clear destination, you have time to sit there and ask why you are pulling me. This is not a time to pull. But if you got a clear destination, you are beyond that. That is not your battle. Your aim is something different. So our mind, we can let our mind go into pettiness and make it a huge battle. Celebrate also at that level, but there is no destination. That's why it is a sometimes easy effort to. It is not a destination necessarily me, but a very clear goal. What you want to achieve, and then things are geared around that destination, and that automatically solves many other things. Also, I liked this emphasis on the environment. Like here, you will see the season is changing right now, and the daffodils are coming up already. If the season is of a different kind, weeds will come out, cactus will come out. Just kind of season, and then very soon there will be flowers in the garden and colors. We can be very clever at creating the environment, and then it is easy effort. When Paras is mentioned, it is quite extraordinary. You use this environment, and then the reality of the soul and God. We are talking about God here, and the life with God. That becomes normal. What a easy thing. In a Patthar environment, I can be talking God, 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 and praying, but it is a different environment. in that environment, that story and petty things within that world of camel and elephant, it will become big. Mind will be in that, and one can be chanting God. Just, I appreciated the discussions in your rooms. Let us create few more minutes of attention. And did Sarah say there is something to discuss or some questions?
Yes, there are some questions, whatever we have time for.
Yeah, we'll create time. Let us create 2 minutes of the environment again, and then create time for discussion. And as always, the subtle and the word alokik is nice. The moment Paras is in place, the alokik dimension, ordinarily invisible, that lights up, and that becomes normal and important. It is important, but now it is clearly seen as important. Why it is important? It is in this world that true self exists, true family exists, true treasures exist, true father exists, true home is at this level. And biggest success of Ravan to block it all. What a success. That's why Ravan can keep everyone busy in that pettiness just by blocking it. So you are just making this strong. And game of second. And conscious soul is aware of this. He knows his natural state. He's lucky. His world is complete. He knows he got the best. There is perfection, all-round perfection. Family best, father best, home best, and the drama also best. So there's natural feeling of fullness, and it is beautiful. He knows this whole region is of love, and this is all that matters. This is the real world. The real world is of happiness and love. All are lovely and loving. In the story, there are camel, elephant, dragons. That is a story. That is an entertainment. He also knows the success is guaranteed because he knows the final score. If the truth is beautiful and everyone is heading towards the truth, one way or the other, everyone has to come back to truth. So success is guaranteed. He knows everyone is lucky. As we continue on our journey, we remember this beautiful truth that is eternal. No one can change this truth. Thank you.
Thank you. one question that's just come. Could you explain the difference between Ravan and Maya? I think this was addressed actually on Friday, but it may be a case of looking at the recordings. But anything in essence you wanted to just add?
Yes, recording will be the best, but we differentiate in a minor way. They are both in the Ravan's camp, but we are using these words to differentiate. Ravan is a dumb monster, just banging the table more, more, more. This dumb. Whereas Maya is devious and cunning and beautiful, and it has got lots of tricks and baits. And so Maya comes with the cleverness. Like Maya is the one who will bring doubts. Maya is the one that will create, you know, excuses. And Maya is the one that will tell you, do it. You are weak. Maya will tell you also that you are weak. You won't be able to do this. This kind of, that is Maya. And that is also the department of Ravan, but we are using the word Maya for that. And Ravan is just different heads banging the table. Anyone
Yes, thank you.
has seen Ravan or Maya?
I think so. One comment that came in the chat a bit earlier, the comment was, we know Ravan well. Is it not a question of understanding Ram or having faith in Ram, even if it starts off with blind faith or wishful faith? Anything you would say to that angle?
We know Ravan is that's a
Comment was, we know Ravan. Is it not a question of understanding Ram?
yes. We in any war, you need to know the enemy well. You need to know the friend well, properly. Who are the ones who are helping you in that war? You also need to know your own possibilities and potential strengths, what you are good at. It can be a game, sport. If you are playing, you need to know who are playing for you. One time, the cricket captain of India was coming to this country, England. At the immigration, they asked him, "Why are you coming?" They knew who he is, but they asked him, "Why are you coming?" And he said, "Spying." And so the immigration said, "Coming to spy? What are you going to spy?" He says he's going to spy the players, because they are going to play against Australia or some other team. So he has come to spy, see what are the weaknesses of the players here. Just a joke, but he was telling this on television. So this is a long time ago, but this is Gavaskar, the captain. Here we need to know the weaknesses of the enemy, and you need to know your own strengths, and you need to know who can help you. Just superficially, God, 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 that is not enough in this. God wants you to win. That is why he is here. If someone, say your even father, you make a statue of the father and you sit there and worship him, but at a practical life, not, that is a failure. The father will not say, "Amazing, very good, statue is nice." No, he wants you to win in life rather than just have a statue of him and worship the statue. So here, at a practical level, for your own victory and victory of others is essential, because every day that is going, there is a suffering that is increasing. Ravan means suffering. there is bad karma also, and Ravan's department is sorrow. So he would rather you stop that worship and just God, God, God. It is you stop, but take the real help from him, knowledge from him, and gain victory and help others gain victory. Free the world from Ravan. In that you are all. He's with you already. In spirit, and you are remembering him.
Maybe guaranteed way to get the company of Ram is to take a position against Ravan. Another question, can Ravan create new heads indefinitely?
If the environment is right, yes. If the environment is of a certain kind, weeds will continue to grow. You remove some weeds, new weeds will come. It is the same here. You create a certain environment, Patthar environment, Ravan can continue on indefinitely. That is what happens in Iron Age. And people are, like sages, saints, prophets, they come. But the environment is not favorable. So here, what we need to do for ourselves, change the environment. And in that environment, Ravan cannot survive.
And I think it's probably the answer to the next question. We just have a couple more here. Why do we do anything against our conscience, even though we know it's wrong? Maybe it's an aspect of environment, again, not having the power. Or...
One is the environment, other is the intellect. The Patthar intellect cannot see far enough. Like a children, they will do things that are not right for them. They might regret for what they have done in time, but at that time they cannot see the consequence what they are doing now, but they can only see short term, and that is the only problem. If we see short term, one thing appears right. If I see tomorrow, something else appears right. And all that Paras does is helps us see the bigger map.
It feels like everything becomes much more natural.
Mm.
So one more question. Is this being stubborn in truth?
Stubborn in truth. Yes, that is a big power to be stubborn. And once you know something is true, it is allowed. Use stubbornness in truth. Otherwise, Maya will use it against truth.
Yes, it was a comment by Ananta talking about how powers can be used earlier. This realization, power to accommodate, may not be useful if it's misunderstood and used to accommodate Ravan. So power is used in the wrong way. There is another question just come through from Shirin. Another couple of questions. If the drama is accurate and predestined, why should we try to change it?
Are not necessarily changing the drama, but we are first trying to change our attitude towards the drama. So when you are becoming soul conscious, you are not changing the drama, you are changing your positioning. All of this, is beyond drama. You to be not conscious. It is the audience that is not conscious. And the audience have to be conscious. And your service is also the same, to get the audience have the right attitude towards the drama.
Yes, and Diane's commented, if we are no longer victims, will drama change?
Will drama change? Drama has a script, and drama will move on as it is. But truth is, you are never a victim. Any drama, say you are watching a war film, and maybe it is three-dimensional performance. The drama, a film that you are watching is three-dimensional. So there is fire and bombing, that is all going on in the film. But you are beyond harm. That film cannot harm you. Film is harmless and you are safe. So that is truth. You are just coming to the truth about yourself. When you discover your soul, it is literally like that. There is a three-dimensional film going on, bombing and many fires, many things, birth, death, also destruction. But soul is beyond harm in an absolute way, not even the slightest. When there's confusion, you think that something in that film belongs to you, then you are suffering for nothing. So all that is happening, coming in the truth, coming out of this confusion. And then you enjoy the film, enjoy your world also.
Thank you. Hope that helps. There was one question by email from the Spanish group. This maybe one more. What is the system that will be developed in the brain? Because yesterday you were talking about left brain, right brain. What is the system that will be developed in the brain with yoga to reach the depths of silence and the connection with the Supreme Being? Is the question clear?
Sure. It is possible, if there are enough people who practice this, and if their study is done on the brain, that it will show some part of the brain will light up more. I don't know at the present time, but we may need volunteers of good yogi, tapasvi, those who apply themselves, and victorious ones. So you can give the names next time. Fully victorious and yogi tapasvi, and then we can do a study. And I'm meaning it. And I suspect some part of the brain will light up more, which is not seen in other people.
It's a nice invitation and maybe a good place to close. I have a few announcements, and then after that, if you wanted to share a few words of reflection before we finish. But the announcements, we will email you the details of the next advanced retreat, which is to be Understanding All Secrets, Rasyukt in Hindi. That's 19th to 21st of March. The same dates, but in March, but it's in the afternoon, 2 till 4 UK time. And also we have drop-in meditations during the week for 30 minutes, Monday to Friday. Email us if you want to be added to the group. And we're going to have a couple of Mondays, a couple of classes from 1st of March, 9:30 a.m. UK time, 1st of March and 8th of March. And it's like a top up if you wish. Sanjeevani for the foundation level is next week on Monday, 1st of March. So actually it won't be next week, it'll be the week after. So we'll send everything by email to you. Just check your junk mail because sometimes things go in there. So in the next few days, if you haven't heard from us, just check in that folder. So big thanks to the teams and translation teams and the co-hosting team. And I don't know if Prashant has any final word for consolidating any yoga or knowledge study. After that, we'll have a song.
Yeah, sure. We use the image, of during the discussion sometimes, analogies of the war and fire and all this is. But internally, we are in a game. The truth is, the whole thing is see it as a game, energy of a game. In a game, we play to win, and we got a coach, and we want to use the best skills. But in a game, you also know how to fall. You also know how to start, how to run. That is all part of the game. It is the sporting spirit. All along, it is fun, energy of fun, and this is what we have to generate within ourselves, and this is what is required for the world also. Sooner or later, everyone will need it. More we have to stay with that energy. We often use this image: boat is sinking, as and the people are in the party, but no one knows the boat is sinking, or they don't want to know. You are understanding what is happening, so you are being sensible to come out of the boat. As the water level rises, more will rush towards it, and that's why you want to be there before the crowd comes, and then you are in a position to do the useful. Keep this broader position, but with the energy of fun and play. Let us create another minute of silence, just silence. And if you want to play the song, that is also. And no commentary, but silence.
More to this life we call mine than a journey through space or a storyline. More to life than the body can sense, than the mind can conclude from experience. This who we are, begin with breath, depend on form, or end with death. Strip away these roles, these names, and tell me what remains. And who you really are. Who you really are. We measure success by the things we accrue, or the bonds that we form, or the deeds we do. But these too shall pass, to hold on to form. Form will die. But inherent in this dance of form is the chance to see what's yet unborn, and the choice to throw this chance away and be caught up in the play of who we think we are, who we think we are. This is your lifetime. It could end at any time. Where is your attention? Where is your prayer? Where is your song? In a fortunate life comes a call to be free from the cycle of bondage, misidentity. To wake from the dream and finally realize the truth of one's being before the body dies. So before the final scene is past, see the screen on which it's cast. See what's seeing this me and you, and then you will see who